What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of A Thinking Man's Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Joseph PIRCHER. With me, as always, my good friend Tommy Stiles. And today we have the distinct honor of speaking with IFBB Pro, Roman Fritz. Roman, what's up, man? Thanks for making time for the show.
Hey man, no, thanks for having me. I know
Yeah.
you've asked me a couple weeks ago, and I was prepping and all over the place. And actually, I'm thankful that you still want to have me on the show.
Yeah, man, of
Uh,
course. And we're big fans of yours, and we were following along the season. So when you were like, "Hey, man, this has been a long prep for me," totally understand. I mean, and that's a good segue because honestly, that's what we wanted to start with because you had this kind of long up and down prep, and you brought such dramatically different looks to different shows. So we'd love to hear a little bit of further insight, kind of behind the scenes. So you started with Tampa and Texas, probably not your best looks, and then as the year went on, you just brought a bigger, fuller look each time that you came to stage. So why don't you kind of start back? We all watch Fuad's podcast, and at that point, before you started the prep, you were up near 300 pounds.
yeah,
So from that point, how did things go? I know that you were working with Justin early on, so why don't you give us a little insight as how your prep kind of progressed as the year went on?
so I had the hip surgery
Yeah,
in February of the second one in February of 2021. Yeah, exactly. And then I figured I was going to do the Indie Pro in 22. But at that point, I still felt I was growing so good at that point. So I figured let's just keep going. Yeah.
yeah,
So I decided to push the diet for another 3 months, and then do 3 months until some show over here. But as the diet went, and now here comes the kicker. Yeah, everything went well the whole off season, but I moved.
mm,
Okay, so, and I moved pretty far. Yeah, so the my let's say my supplement store, I couldn't reach it anymore. My
sure.
supplement store. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So I had to switch sources.
Yeah.
So I switched sources for the last maybe 8 weeks of the off season, and then starting into the diet. And it already felt, last 8 weeks, I was like, I think right now my body is ready to diet because I'm not growing any more muscle. I'm just getting softer, which is not normal for me.
Right.
But I figured, okay, man, I got pretty fat for me, so maybe this is the tipping point. So let's start the diet. And then while I was dieting, I also said to my wife, I was like, I feel like I'm only losing muscle and the fat is staying. Like
Mm.
I'm getting smaller, and
And
if
fatter.
if that, I'm getting softer. Yeah, and even
Smaller
my
and
lifts, even my lifts went down like this. Yeah, so I was like, "There's something's going on here." But then I was like, no, it's in my head. It's in my head. Okay, it's in my head. And I was doing the whole thing by myself, so I wasn't working with
okay.
Justin. You
Okay.
know, I was like, this is just in my head. I can do this. I don't need anyone to help me. It's just in my head. Just get through that when you start a diet, the first couple of weeks you have to go through the flat and still fat phase.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you lose the glycogen, but the fat isn't all gone, and you just have to go through that. And then as soon as enough fat is burned, you look awesome again. I
Yeah.
was waiting for that to happen, but it didn't.
Okay.
Never came. So I was like, nah, something's wrong. So at about 6 weeks out, I was like, okay, let me make an experiment here. So I took this I took an extra load of supplements,
Sure.
so that I would have to get side effects.
Sure.
But shit happened, like
Okay.
nothing. So I wasn't getting any night sweats. I wasn't getting any high blood pressure. I got nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's just say I got nothing from a whole bottle of Tren.
Okay.
So theoretically, I have taken 2,000 milligrams of Tren in one shot.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
But nothing happened.
Yeah. So the alarm bells are going off now right away. You know that this shit's not real.
This is olive oil.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to make a couple arrangements, but right now we're already at like 4 weeks out.
This is 4 weeks out from the show over there originally?
4 weeks out from the Tampa.
Oh, from Tampa. Oh, okay. Fuck.
So I'm scrambling, you know. What do I have left? I had a couple shit that was already expired. Yeah. So I started to look better again, like immediately. Yeah. And then I was 4 weeks out. I said, no, I can't back out now. But I was already down from close to 300. I was 296 or something like that.
Yeah.
I was already at 249 or something like that.
Oh, dude! And you posted a video at like 278 or something, and it was like, man, he's not far off. Like he's pretty close.
So excuse me, because when I'm rambling on like this,
no, let it fly, man. We want to hear it.
I don't want to be too specific. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that was. I ran into that problem. So at 4 weeks out, I got the better. I rearranged my whole cycle. Yeah. And then I started to fill out a little bit. I wasn't losing it. I wasn't gaining anymore. I wasn't gaining any extra, but at least I wasn't losing. So I was holding at about 245 to 247, which is way too light. Which was way too light from where I was coming from.
Yeah.
Because I was estimating about at least 260 on stage.
Yeah.
And then, well, I went to Tampa. I had some good stuff over there. But I figured, well, I got to catch up. Let's take some extra orals.
Okay.
Right? So I'm at Justin's place. He must have thought I'm the biggest pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Not because I was nervous for the show. We trained, we ate, but then all of a sudden, at Tuesday before the show, I started getting the hiccups, like chronic. It didn't stop. Hiccup. And I was fuck, man. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't train. And Wednesday before the show, from the fucking hiccup, is the word? From the hiccup, yeah. I was starting to like puke blood.
Oh fuck!
Awesome, right?
Holy shit, dude!
Wednesday before the show, but I think it was from the constant 48-hour hiccups I had. I was like, there was blood coming along with it, yeah. And I stopped taking the orals at that point.
Okay.
Stop, yeah. So I couldn't start any carb up. I was already down to 240.
Man, and you're somebody that can eat more than just about or requires more food than just about anybody to fill back up.
So I'm already down at 240. And I'm like, oh. Of course, on social media, I'm pretending like everything is okay.
Sure, yeah? Sure.
So I get to the show, the athletes meeting. I'm looking at the other guys. I'm like, fuck this. I looked like I looked like I was gonna. do classic. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then I got on stage. I tried to, not first, we tried to carb load, nothing stuck. And I probably drank too little water.
Mm.
And then I didn't take any diuretics, of course. Well,
Yeah.
but I probably drank too little water with the heat and all that. We didn't really, Justin was helping me for the last couple of days. Yeah. And this literally was the best we could do.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? When I got out of the hospital after the coma and the 2 hip replacements and all that shit, I was a pound heavier than I was on stage.
Whoa, dude.
Wow.
Holy shit. So
I
it
think I
feels like
was,
you just wasted that whole off season.
yeah, I think I was 233.
Damn, dude. Holy fuck.
So the morning of the show I was 233. Yeah. It's like, this whole year was a fucking waste of time. This trip was a waste of time.
Yeah.
Flying over from Germany to the US, spending thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
Justin helping me out with driving me around and all that. I've disappointed everyone. And now this is fucking embarrassing.
Can I ask too, being a staple on Fuad's show, did that bring more pressure because the entire industry watches that show?
I haven't thought about it, but now I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, because I mean, it's a great thing for you and your brand and your business, but you're kind of thrust into the spotlight. I mean, nobody gets more eyes on them than the guys on that show. And, especially as you were in prep, he's bringing you up. He's showing these videos of you at 270, 278, all this stuff. He's like, everyone was excited for you.
Man, I was just, at that point, I was so disappointed in myself and so embarrassed, and
Yeah.
Because I've disappointed all the people that were helping me. My wife,
Yeah.
my Justin, who I'm staying with, and then, but I think he wasn't mad. He didn't have a problem with it. I don't think so, because we never got into a fight or anything. Of course not. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just had to keep up with my bullshit. We were about to drive to the emergency room when the blood coughing started.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't, because I said, no, let's just wait it out. And he wasn't eager to go to the emergency room either.
Sure.
Especially when you're a foreigner.
Yeah.
Right. Not that I have American insurance. So
yeah, you would have been hit with a big old American bill going over there.
Yeah, we don't play around with bills.
So we waited it out, and it was good. But the carb up, of course, didn't work. We tried everything. We tried the whole 30.
Yeah.
It didn't do shit. Shit. Here's the funny thing. I trained with Joe Bennett, the hypertrophy coach.
Yeah.
Back, my last workout was back. And Rough Diesel was there. And he's also doing some video stuff on the side, and photo stuff, just as a hobby, I guess. So he came by to film us training.
Mm.
And then at one point during the workout, he said to Joe, is he gonna take his shirt off at all? And then
you're hiding away in a 5XL shirt.
Yeah, that's what I did. And long sleeve, and then Joe said, I don't know. And I was like, I'd rather not. Honestly, I don't even, because I looked like I just spent a year in Auschwitz.
Yeah.
That's what I fucking looked like, with my pale skin, short hair.
Yeah, I mean, you have that transparent white pale skin, so yeah.
It's light blue, man.
Yeah. So your face is all dug out and shit. I see it.
That's what I look like. I look like, oh. So that show was over. I head over to
Texas,
Ben's place.
Yeah.
Ben, same thing. The greatest host I've ever. I didn't even. At a couple of points, I was like, "This can't be real. All the people over here are way too nice."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
This because in Germany it's not like that. You know.
Well, Texas is very, very specifically like that as well. Like even compared to other places in the US, Texas feels like that.
But Justin was the same way. You know, he was.
Sure. Yeah. The South in general is like that.
God, it's crazy. I was like this. He's got to be a hidden camera somewhere. There was something about to happen because people over here are way too nice.
Yeah.
You know? And I was always every move I made, I was apologizing. Oh, I'm sorry. Can I please? Oh, excuse me. Can I do? It's like you can do whatever you want. Both, and Ben's wife also. So that was like, I can't even thank them enough. So so I was there with Ben, and Ben was talking me into. So this week you gotta eat, you gotta eat, you gotta eat, and that's it. Just eat. Yeah. So, but honestly, mentally, at that point, I thought, fuck it. You know, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put on all the weight I've lost, you know, in 5 days.
Yeah.
And that's just, I was ready to not do the show.
Yeah.
You know. I held my weight at mid 240s, and then Ben and I drove to the show. Denise, his wife, was there also for the Pro-Tam.
Yep.
She works for Pro-Tam. And I got on stage, I think 16 pounds heavier.
Okay.
But that was already good.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is looking better.
And was at that point, was digestion starting to improve too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That was fine as soon as I stopped the orals.
Gotcha.
You know?
Okay.
So I was like 247, 248, 249, something like somewhere around there. And then Ben told me, see, you are not supposed to go on stage any lighter. You have no business being any lighter than 250. Yeah, which at 250 was low. You know?
Yeah.
So Ben also made me drink more water than the week prior. Because, you know, when you do a show over here in Europe, which that was most shows I've done, it's never hot. You know, you don't.
Yeah.
And then I felt it when I was working for Animal. When I got to Vegas, I was like, fuck, man, my skin is like peeling off because it's so dry.
Yeah. Well, then that too, like Florida and Texas, like you picked two of the hottest spots to compete in.
Mm-hmm.
Humid too.
So I drank my regular 8 liters, I think, the day before the show. I didn't stop drinking, and I ate even crazier than the week prior because we did 2.5 days of carbing up.
Yeah.
But shitload carbing up.
Yeah.
Because I was like also like I can do whatever the fuck I want now because it doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah. So what difference does it make?
Let's just make an experiment out of it. Let's just go and do as much as possible, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll make the top 10, you know. So that's what but funny was I placed lower in Texas than I placed in Tampa. I think I don't even know what I placed in Tampa, but in Texas I placed 13th.
Okay.
I think in Tampa I don't know, I forgot. My brain is blocking it out.
8th or 9th, I think maybe.
I think 8th. Yeah, that's it. But now when I thought 8th, but I thought 8th is way too good.
Yeah, no, I think you were 8th.
I must be confusing it with something else. No? And then so I went home. Obviously, I was I wasn't, didn't feel too good. And the fans over here in Germany, they were ripping into me.
Really?
They were like, I got messages, emails, phone calls. I don't even know how they got my number.
Jesus.
And telling me to fucking retire. What an embarrassing piece of shit I am.
Damn, dude.
And I'm not even supposed to be on stage. It's not even amateur level what I delivered. And all the German media channels, they were just ripping into me as well. You know, all the news channels
Yeah.
that have something to say. They were like, "Oh, Roman fucked up. Roman is shit. Roman should retire." It's like, and everyone's like, "Ah, I told you he's not gonna come back after surgery. He fucked up." It's like for a month straight, it was all let's hate on Roman as much as possible.
Man, so can I ask, how do you deal with that mentally then? Like it's easy to say, oh, I just didn't pay attention to it. But when it's your home country and everyone has the same thing to say, how do you mentally deal with that? I mean, you didn't feel good about yourself to begin with, and then you have your entire country turn their back on you.
What helped? What helped were all the English
Mm,
comments and
mm,
messages. You know, because anything I got in English from Americans, UK, India, Brazil, they're all like, "Oh man, everyone fucks up once in a while. Don't worry, next time, next time." I was like,
yeah.
man, my own people are hating me, and the rest of the world. I think I did not get one bad message or comment about my placings in a different language than in German.
Mm, man.
So that helped. And
Yeah.
obviously my wife helped.
Yeah.
And because when I got home, my wife said, "All right, we're gonna do better next time. I've already booked the trips to Italy, which is in 4 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that show and you're gonna do better." I was
Wow,
like,
that's
"All right,
awesome, man.
all right,
Yeah, she's a keeper.
let's get some redemption." Yeah.
Yeah.
So in Italy, 4 weeks later, mind you, I'm back on the good supplements.
Yep.
4 weeks later, I was, I think I don't even know, another 12 or 13 pounds heavier.
Yeah, you're up above 260 at that point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there was, and I just kept going, I kept going, kept eating, kept
Yeah.
growing, staying hard. And then there was Romania, which
Yeah.
I think was my best look. And there I was 268.
Yeah. I agree, man. And
That was my best look.
can
That was
I
my best.
ask you about that show too? Because that was where the bizarre call out happened, where you're in the first call out and then you come out and they place you what, seventh or eighth or something?
Eighth. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny. That they called me out. Brett Wilkin,
Yeah.
Beirut, who won,
Yeah.
and me,
Yeah.
us in the middle.
Yeah.
So that,
And that's how it looked from as a fan. It looked like, yeah, these guys are clearly separated as a top three group.
yeah. And then we do a couple poses, and as we get to the back is my weakest body part. They
Sure.
switched me and the other German guy, Enrico.
Yeah.
His back is awesome. So
Yeah.
they switched me and him. So I figured, okay, fourth is still good.
Fourth. Yeah.
Fourth is still good because his back is better. I can understand it. And he had done 2 shows prior to that, like immediately prior to that.
So they saw him.
Whereas I skipped those 2,
Yeah.
Prague and France or something like that.
Yeah.
And he was in those. So I was like, yeah, okay, it's fine if he places third. I'm getting probably fourth. Yeah. And then at the night show, I'm coming back and I reloaded with food and water. I think I look better at the night show.
Yeah. Yeah.
even better than in the morning. And they put us, they call us out, and they put me all the way to the side.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden, I don't even know. I didn't know why, because they hadn't even seen me, at that point again, you know. So I'm on the side and I'm just doing my thing, and then I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I'm getting fifth. Okay, fifth.
Right. At worst. Yeah.
Fifth. So they call out the names, fifth place, whoever. I'm thinking, oh man, I got fourth.
Yeah.
Okay. So fourth place, whatever. I'm thinking, huh? Fourth place. So there's Enrico, the other German guy.
Right. Who's still unplaced
he,
yet. Yeah.
He's getting third. So where am I?
Right.
So where am I ending up?
Yeah.
And then it dawned on me. I was like, man, I'm not even in the top 6. How did that happen?
Yeah. Yeah.
How did that happen? So it's second, first. Okay, Brett wins. Also, Beirut wins.
Yep.
Awesome. Everyone congratulates him, and we're going off stage. And I thought, huh? Did they forget about me? What?
Right. Yeah.
And then later, when I got the results, it said 8th, and I don't know how I got. I don't know how I got 8th. Then I asked the head judge, lady, I forgot her name, and she said, "Yeah, you look good from the front, but your back is weak and your hamstrings are weak, and that's the placing you deserved."
Dude,
So
you have some of the nuttiest hamstrings in bodybuilding.
I'm not complaining. I said, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I said
Yeah.
politely, okay, thank you.
Well done.
What am I gonna? What am I?
What are you gonna
next
do?
time
Yeah.
next time I'll do better. It's what I literally when I walked out, I was like, screw this. Placing doesn't matter to me right now. I mean,
Yeah.
it would have been nice if I had got some money,
Sure. Yeah.
But I had proven to myself that I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know how it. I'm not shit. I'm not a classic physique
Right.
athlete. I'm not
Right.
an
Like
athlete.
your best physique is somewhere in that too high 260 mark.
Yeah. So I was like, good. All right, I can do this. And my classic physique cutoff is 215.
Dude, you'd have to chop off a fucking leg to make that.
So I was not so thrilled about the placing, but I was happy with how I looked.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was good. And then I thought, okay, let's do the next show was Spain. That was 2 weeks later.
Yep.
I went there again. Again, I did a little experiment. Like
Okay.
eat as much as I can, just to see what happens. See what happens, And I got on stage at 272.
Yeah.
I should have taken a diuretic. Probably would have looked better. I was a little
filmy,
like in the quads, but also I have tried a different tanning lotion.
Okay.
And that kind of.
I was going to comment too. It didn't feel like the lighting was great there either.
Yeah, lighting probably, but the tanning lotion, it felt like I looked muddy,
Yeah. Yeah.
Compared to Romania, the tanning I had on was like really showed all my cuts.
Yeah. Yeah. It was almost like that bronze statue look in Romania. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this one looked, I don't know, it didn't look too good.
Yeah.
So that made it worse.
Yeah.
But I got on stage at 272 and I placed 5th.
Yeah.
And I beat everyone that beat me in Romania.
In Romania? Yeah.
That felt
now
good.
different judging panel too, right?
Completely different judging panel. Yeah. I beat everyone that beat me in Romania. That felt good. And all the guys that placed ahead of me were qualified for the Olympia.
There you go.
I was like, okay, at least I'm the best of the worse.
Of the rest. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was the season, and now I don't
Yeah.
know
So
when
what's next?
I don't know when I'm gonna compete next. The first show that I could do is April 14th
Okay.
in Brazil. In Brazil.
Okay. That's a big trip.
Yeah, I've been there before for
Yeah.
Animal
Yeah. Yeah.
with Jason Huh. That was cool.
Yeah. Frank went down there too, right? Frank, Eric. Yeah.
Frank and Antoine went together,
Yeah.
but that was the year prior.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Let's. I don't know if I'm gonna go there because I probably have to go by myself again, and
Mm.
that time I will be completely by myself. I
Yeah.
mean, I've done that before. For example, I did the Arnold Classic in Hong Kong
Mm.
completely by myself. That's actually where I got to know Justin Compton. He
Oh,
won.
okay. Yeah, I remember that was a fucking crazy look that he brought.
Yeah, and we spent the few days, the couple of days before the show we spent together.
Cool.
That was cool. Man, I have stories. It's crazy.
Let's
But
hear it, dude. Drop it on us.
story, for example, we went. You know, all the people in Asia are kind of like small, of like
Sure.
in built and in height.
Yeah.
So we go to the grocery store, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we were walking through the crowd like Moses, like through the sea. Everything is like partying, you know.
Yeah.
And then we have a shopping cart full of food.
Yeah.
So we wanted to go back to our bus, but we couldn't. We didn't want to through the whole train station, bus station with the shopping cart, you know, all down the escalator, up the escalator. Everyone is looking at us, but no one is saying anything, not even the police.
Of course. Who's going to say
Just the way
anything?
we look, right?
Yeah.
The two white guys, we're not messing with them, you know.
That and you guys look fucking superhuman compared to everybody
Yeah,
over there.
that was cool. Yeah, I placed 8th there. That was good also. And the funny thing is, one thing I noticed over there, you know, the girls, they all look Asian, like typical Asian. So you think they have names like Ming or something like that, you know? But they all have names like strippers.
Mm.
Like their real legit name is Candy,
Destiny. Yeah.
stuff like that, you know,
Yeah.
Candy,
Yeah.
and like you would expect a stripper to like a stage name. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was, you know, that was cool. That was a cool trip. And now back to the Brazil thing. I might do Brazil or I might wait. The schedule is not complete yet.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll be looking forward to it because I mean, we were impressed, obviously, like you said, Romania and Spain are more what you expected, but also you have to keep in mind the lead up to that was holding those looks back. It was not an ideal prep by any means. So I'd be curious to see you have a good off season and then, you know, stay on the real shit, bring it in the way that you want to bring it in. You know what I mean? It could be much different. That 268, 272 might look much different when things are smoother leading up to it. So
Yeah.
that was one thing we put up that we were going to be interviewing you. We have like a private Facebook group about the podcast, and that was one of the big things that people wanted to know is what was next for you.
Oh, yeah, nice. I'm gonna join the group, okay?
Absolutely, we'd love to have you. Hell yeah.
Roman,
Yeah.
How are your hips? I know you've had both hips replaced. How's your
No,
training?
no. I had the fucking left one replaced twice.
Oh, so it's not both hips, it's just the left.
Holy fuck.
That was frustrating.
Yeah.
I had the left one replaced.
Now you had like an infection that was like nearly fatal or something in the first time, right? Yeah.
I had the left one replaced December of 19 on December 5th. Yeah. And then on February 2nd or something like that. Yeah, February 8th, the incision all of a sudden looked like it ballooned up, like, yeah.
Oh.
The incision was like this on my ass cheek, on the side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it like bubbled up overnight. I don't know why. And it was red and hot. So I went to the doctor, to my regular doctor, and he pulled out syringe after syringe, like large syringes, 20cc syringes with blood and yellow whatever.
Ooh.
And then I went to my surgeon's hospital.
Yeah.
And they didn't even look at me. They were like, "Oh yeah, come back in 3 days." It's like, what? Look
Like,
at
no,
this.
motherfucker, you're gonna see me now.
It looks like I have a rat in my pants.
Oh
That was
God.
the size of it,
Rat.
like, yeah. So they're like, no, you come back in 3 days. So I figured, well, I'm gonna get on some antibiotics myself, because this isn't normal,
Yeah.
So I started the antibiotics myself. The thing went down a little bit and started hurting less. I go back there 3 days later, and he looks at it and he's like, "Oh my God." Ugh. It's like, yeah, you could have looked at it 3 days ago.
Right.
Should have seen it back then.
Right.
Because I've already taken doxycycline. It's like, no, you shouldn't have taken doxycycline. Now we can't figure out what kind of bacteria this is. It's like, yeah, you probably could have looked at me 3 fucking days ago.
Yeah, you're like, you made me fucking guess as to what to take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he is giving me a lesson about how stupid I am for taking medication without asking him. I was like, yeah, what am I supposed to do? If I had waited 3 days, it probably would have busted open.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah? No joke. So we do an emergency surgery 2 days later, because I have to go through a surgery prep and blah blah. Emergency surgery, and they leave me with 3 options. They either replace the whole thing altogether, and have basically the same recovery time as last time, but I have to be on antibiotics for 3 months. First 2 weeks is IV antibiotics. Okay, not that bad. But I have to stay 2 weeks in the hospital. Second option is something in between. They put in like I don't know what, but the third option is they put nothing in there. So for 3 months, just like an antibiotic soaked, like, I don't know, sponge.
Yeah. Okay.
But for, I think, 6 weeks or so. So my leg would be useless for 6 weeks.
Holy shit.
Would be wheelchair bound for 6 weeks. I said, we're not gonna do that.
He's like, that one is out. Yes.
Yeah. But he said, we can't decide that yet. We have to go in and look how bad it looks.
Okay.
All right. So I'm hoping and praying that I'm getting option 1.
Yeah.
Which turned out to be the case, luckily.
Yeah. That probably, being able to do that probably saved your bodybuilding career, no?
Nah, I just would have been in the wheelchair for 6 months.
Okay. All right. I mean, fuck.
Weeks. That would have sucked,
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I can't even sit around for any longer than an hour,
You can't
without,
even train only once a day. You have to train twice a day.
I don't even know what I'm supposed to do all day. So, man, sitting in a wheelchair for,
Man.
So, the problem with a surgery like that is they basically have to do two surgeries at once. Normally, a hip replacement would take 45 minutes. It took a little it took a little longer because of my muscle mass. Because it was harder to get in there. But normally, it's a 45-minute thing. Open, bomb, new thing in. They hammer it in.
Yeah.
And check if the legs have the same length, and then they sew you back up. So when there's infection, the first surgery is getting the infected prosthetic out.
Oh my
then
God.
flushing everything with antibiotics.
Yeah.
Make sure there's no bacteria. Then everyone leaves the OR, and redresses. They'd all change their clothes, they change their gloves, they change their hair thing. Everything in there gets disinfected because they want to make sure there's no more bacteria like left over,
Yeah. Yeah.
So the second surgery starts putting the new hip in.
Yeah.
And you can't give, as far as they explained to me, you can't give fentanyl forever, because some patients, when they overdose on fentanyl, they wake up during the surgery, they feel everything, but they can't make themselves known.
Oh man.
The nightmare.
You're like in paralysis. Yeah.
Oh,
man.
You feel everything. You're awake. They're working on you, but you can't move.
Yeah. Fuck.
So they have to give you a different kind of anesthetic, this gas thing. And apparently, I am one of the few million people in the world, like the little percentile of people in the world. They get a reaction to that, So I got that.
It's fucking nightmare scenario, huh?
Malign hypothermia. Yeah, thank God I wasn't awake for it.
Yeah.
Malign hypothermia. That's when your whole body tenses up. All the muscles contract.
Everything contracts at once, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then you start to heat up and you start to cook yourself.
Yeah.
Your muscle contraction promotes so much heat that you die.
Well, I'd imagine it's even worse for you than the average person because there is so much muscle tissue.
Yes. So I'm starting to heat up. Thank God the anesthesiologist noticed that here's something wrong. Yeah. And then I think he's getting this malign hypothermia thing, basically told everyone.
Yeah.
And then the surgeon, super cool surgeon, said, all right, you guys deal with that. I'm finishing the hip.
Damn. So he's like, we're knocking this out.
Yeah, he finishes the hip while they infuse me with some stuff, with a muscle relaxer. Yeah. Very strong muscle relaxer. And it doesn't come in like a little shot. It comes in liter infusion liquid things. Like, okay. They give me one after another. And then I wake up in the hospital. And I'm thinking, surgery's over. Good,
yeah.
And then the one doctor tells me, the first thing the doctor says, a different doctor. Yeah, I didn't know the guy. Listen, you were in a coma for a couple of days. You had a reaction to the anesthetic. You almost died. You are still probably going to die. Holy fuck. That's the first thing he said. Hey kid, listen, you're probably going to die. the nurse gives him a look like,
Why'd you tell him? Yeah.
What the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. So I said, like, what? I'm not dying. I'm not dying. I told him I'm not dying. That's what the only thing I said, because my brain wasn't working at that point.
Sure.
The only thing I said, I'm not dying. He's like, oh, you are probably. And I look at the nurse and I said, am I dying? She said, I don't know. Okay, so I'm lying there thinking, I don't know if I'm not gonna die. That's what I told myself, you're not dying. Obviously, I wasn't cool as I am right now.
Right.
I was like, oh, I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die.
Please, Lord. Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck is going on because I just woke up,
Right.
And so I'm lying there and I can't move, nothing. Everything feels like I am under a heavy blanket. Like that when I wanted to move, I was like, I wanted to go like this. This is all I have.
Damn.
And even my speech were, my brain was working normally.
Yeah.
But my muscle none of my muscles worked as fast as I wanted them to work because they were still infusing me with that muscle relaxer liquid. And that was the case for the next 2 days. That's what I felt like. I felt everything was slow motion.
Was your wife in there with you?
No, it's COVID. You can't go in.
Whoa, holy shit.
Everything was slow motion. And I was like, so I'm in there, sitting in there. I woke up at, I don't know when. I think I looked at the clock, it was 2. It showed 2. I didn't know if it was 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
But I guess it was 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm fighting with myself because that was the worst couple of hours of my life so far.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, I've seen all the movies. You can't go to sleep because you got to stay awake, otherwise you die. That's my thought process at that point. The doctor said I was going to die. I'm not closing my eyes, but I am. But I want to because I'm on those drugs.
Yeah.
So for 5 hours, I'm fighting. When you go when you're tired and you look in a movie on Netflix or something like that, and you're almost falling asleep.
Yeah.
And you're kind of fighting to sleep,
you feel like you're fighting for your life at that point.
I fought for my life for 5 hours because in my head I was like, if I fall asleep, I'm dying.
Yeah.
And I refuse to die.
Yeah, man. Jesus
so I had
Christ.
I fought that feeling for 5 hours. That was fucking hard. There was no one in there with me, of course. I was alone in a separate room, and I fought that fucking I'm not gonna die feeling, Nightmare on Elm Street. You can't go to sleep or Freddy gets you, That's what I felt like for 5 hours. Until it was morning and the nurses came in and I started to feel better for some reason. They opened the drapes and everything. It was light there and it was easier.
Yeah.
So that was tough, man. Then I got out of the hospital 2 weeks later. I got into the hospital. I think I was 275. I came out at 230 something.
So you're definitely never making classic.
No.
Because after that, if you were still 230, you have no shot.
Yeah, I was still 15 pounds away. There's actually video. There's video of myself posing in my basement the day after I got out of the hospital.
Only Roman would think, you know what? I need to take a posing video
because I was.
I'm going to document this.
I was back in the gym training.
So can I interrupt and ask you, because like the group we were telling you about, there's someone in the group that has gone through hip replacement also, and he wanted. Just one, not two, but he wanted to know, is there anything specific that you would recommend? Like anything that you did, like in terms of mobility, did you have to change your training
Stretches.
at all? Like anything at all? Or did you just get back under the bar and say, I'm fucking doing this?
I started with, there's actually also videos on my YouTube. I
Okay.
started, my first squat was sitting down on the seat of my lat pull down machine and getting up and sitting
Okay.
back and getting up. I think I got 13 reps.
Okay.
I did 3 sets, you know, 3 sets of 13 and then 10 and probably 8 reps or something like that. And
Yeah.
I was fucking sore the next day, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you just progressively overloaded it and started from the
yeah.
bottom, basically. Yeah.
7 weeks later, I pulled 420
Oh shit.
off the floor and I squatted 315 free weight. Nah, I think I squatted 275.
Okay. But I mean,
And
that's load. That's effective enough load. I mean, 7 weeks later, if you would have told me it was 7 months later, I still would have been like, hey, that's not too bad.
7 weeks later, and then 11 weeks later, so 4 weeks after that, the infection happened. But
Oh fuck.
the infection was already in there.
Mhm.
Now,
It was sitting.
what about since? Like right now, when you go train legs, any residual side effects from any of it? Do you feel that the
No.
one hip is off or the other hip compensates or anything?
Yeah, the funny thing is, the left hip, the operated hip,
Yeah.
is so perfect and so good.
Oh shit.
So it is so perfect.
It's a bionic hip. That's why.
It's performance enhancing. No joke.
Yeah.
And now I feel the other one being compromised.
Mm.
So what pisses me off now is that the other one is human.
Yeah. 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 It's vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like when I squat the other one, I could go down deeper with the left one, but the other
Yeah.
one stops.
Now, have you
And
noticed anything with your physique at all? Like, is there a discrepancy between the legs at all from the surgery and everything?
I've always had a little bit of discrepancy. The
Sure.
only discrepancy I really have is in my glutes.
Okay.
They had to go like no, they also can go through the quad here in front. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they couldn't do that because of the muscle, too much muscle here.
Yeah.
So they went in on the side of the glutes. There's no muscle. You
Yeah.
can feel your hip bone right there.
Yeah.
And but there was still too much muscle, the small muscles. So
Yeah.
they had to take the piriformis
Mm.
off the bone
Okay.
to get to the bone and then put it back on later. And obviously they had to do that twice.
Yeah.
So right now, the left upper thing, where
Yeah.
the part where people inject into,
Yeah.
you know, uh, that is a little smaller than on the other side.
Okay.
But that's all. That's all.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I mean, to the quick glance, it doesn't look much of a difference at all. So, and I mean, that's one of those things too for you. Like your glutes are always such a strong point. Your glutes are always fucking dug out when you get on stage. So if you could hand pick a spot where they were going to go in to do the surgery, that's not. It could have been worse. So, man, that
Yeah.
is a fucking heavy ass story. I mean, I've heard you go into some detail about it on Fuad's podcast, but man, hearing all of it again,
You know
that's
what
some
also
heavy shit.
happened? Another thing happened. When I had the hypothermia,
Yeah.
I had rhabdomyolysis. You
Yeah.
know what that?
Yeah, that's like overtraining to the nth degree. Like,
Mhm. So
yeah,
when people say don't train legs the week before the show because it makes you hold water,
yeah.
I was contracting so hard and damaging so much tissue that first of all, my
Your blood
kidneys
pressure
failed,
was probably through the roof.
kidney failure.
Yeah.
So they had to put me on dialysis while I was in the
Man.
because so much protein was degrading. And when I woke up, it looked like 10 people had beat me up with a baseball bat.
Like you're
I
all
was
swollen.
blue and black and,
Yeah.
and swollen. The skin on my forearm,
Yeah.
when I brushed my teeth, the skin on my forearm would jiggle like on a fat lady.
Whoa.
There was so much water in here.
Oh my God,
It was
dude.
hanging down like this, and it would jiggle when I brushed my teeth. So imagine you look in the mirror, you see that. It's like, what the fuck happened
Such
to
a
me?
mind fuck. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now,
My ass,
have you had to change your training at all since? Like, have you just gone right back in? And I know we talked about it earlier. Like, and I remember, I don't know if you'll remember this, but at the 2019 FIBO, we talked at the animal booth, and we were
Mhm.
talking about how at the time you were working with Matt Jansen, and he was like, "Yeah, he's trying to, obviously he's pushing the food, but he's begging me to just train once a day. I just don't know what to do with myself." And I just have always thought that that was so interesting. So you've continued on. You train twice a day still.
yeah, I'm doing less volume.
Okay.
Definitely doing less volume.
So
Uh,
what's a typical session out of the two
I
per day?
did I
Is it
did
like an
legs.
hour?
I did legs today,
Okay.
just and I did hack squat first. I work up to my weight,
Yeah.
and then I do three working sets with that weight.
Yep.
So the first set was 11 reps.
Yeah.
My wife assisted in 2 extra.
Okay.
Second set was 7,
Yeah.
2 extra.
Yeah.
Third set was 5, 2 extra. Then a strip, and then I don't strip much weight. I just strip 1 plate. So I get another 2 reps by myself and another 2 reps with my wife. So that's 3 working sets.
Yeah.
Then I did the leg press, same thing. And then I did extensions, same thing. And that's it for quads.
Okay.
So
And then you
9,
come back and do hams?
I do hams in the morning.
Oh, so it's flipped. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, because after that, I don't want to do anything.
So are you still training in you have like your dungeon gym then? Because you had mentioned that you moved. Did you bring all that
Yeah,
shit with you?
I moved to a bigger place.
Right
Now I
on.
have a bigger gym.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so I basically do so much less volume compared to what I
And
did in the
what's the response been? I mean, like we talked about before the the nightmare prep that you had, it was undoubtedly your best off season yet. That's the best that we've ever seen you. I mean, you had lines in your glutes at 298 or whatever you were.
that was this I was 296 was my heaviest.
296.
And
Okay.
I just couldn't eat anymore.
Yeah.
I just could not, by the life of me, eat anymore.
Yeah. And
No,
Tommy's somebody that has to push a ton of food, but give us an example, like how many carbs, how many calories, like what's at that point with someone like you with your metabolism and you're carrying 296 around, what's a day of food like?
there is a video on my YouTube. It's called
Okay.
You're Not Eating Enough.
Yeah.
And it is in English. It takes you
Oh, okay.
through a full day of eating. And I think someone calculated the macros.
Yeah.
It was 600 something grams of protein, like almost 1400 carbs, and then 100 grams of fat.
Holy fuck, dude. You are putting it down. That is a fuck ton of food. That's 2 days worth of food for most bodybuilders.
I felt like every night I was friends with Jordan Peters.
Yeah.
For a long time.
That's about 9,000 calories. Sorry to cut you off. That's
Yes.
quick math. That's probably like 9,000 calories.
Yeah, eight. I was pretty close to 9,000. Yeah.
Bro, people do that.
8,900.
People do that on YouTube as like a 1-day challenge.
It's like a joke.
Yeah.
So I was friends with Jordan Peters for a long time, and he told me he was in a similar situation once.
Yeah. He was
in a-
working with Milos, I think, when he did this.
That was when he worked with Scott Stevenson.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The story I'm about to tell. He said, when I woke up in the morning, I was getting anxiety from the food I had to eat that day.
Yeah.
I pretty much I felt the same way. I was like, oh
Yeah.
I have that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you have to accomplish a task. It's like, and if you don't do it, you fuck up. It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Actually, that's a good segue. I remember on Facebook, this is probably a handful of years ago, Shelby Starnes made a post about the most odd combinations you've done while dieting. Because when you're dieting and prepping, weird things, your taste buds get enhanced, and you just find these weird things that outsiders might look at you like, what the fuck are you doing? But to you, it's like you found this golden treasure.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, Roman, you said your combo was one of the most insane things I've ever heard in my life. Do you remember that post? Do you remember what it was?
Was it the rice cooker meal?
No. So you would combine aminos with you went to your local butcher.
Okay.
I'm
Tell the story.
trying to lead you into it.
I know.
He's like, I've eaten so much food, I don't remember. You're gonna need to tell me.
You would have the butcher keep some of the blood from the pig or whatever, the cow, because the aminos from cow blood is like really high, and you would mix it with dextrose.
Oh, that wasn't me.
No, it had to have been you.
It wasn't me.
Really?
It wasn't me.
Tell me, so what was the mixture like? You've talked about this on Fuad's podcast, and somebody asked about it though. They want to know how you're making the rice pasta mixture.
So whatever rice and pasta you get. So let's say this is dry weight.
Okay.
So for 2 meals, 200 grams of rice, I would do jasmine.
Yeah.
200 grams of regular pasta.
Okay.
That goes into the rice cooker with a pack of this. It's a
bolognese
powder.
Yeah.
You just have to put water in it, and then it's basically dry tomato sauce.
Yeah. Yep.
Put a pack of this in there. Put the regular amount of water in, which is 800 milliliters.
Yeah.
Or 800 grams of water.
Yeah.
And then you stir it, and then you rice cook it, and it comes out like a, tomato rice.
Yeah. And that's 2 meals, so you're just splitting it in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fuck ton. 100 grams dry of rice and 100 grams dry of pasta per meal. No, per meal, I'm saying though, if you're splitting. Yeah.
That's 150 carbs. Only.
Yeah. Man, yeah, that's somebody asked about that in the group too. They were like asking him about the rice cooker concoction that he puts together for his carbs and the bolognese. Man. Well, since Tommy brought it up, what is the weirdest combination? I mean, the rice and the pasta, I think it just logically it's crazy sounding, but it makes sense for the task. But what's the weirdest combination of foods you've ever done, whether it's in prep or just a means of getting food down in the off season?
I figured this out carving up. I used the cream of rice from what's the American rice and grinds.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Cream of rice. They have cool flavors.
Yeah, Pride Foods.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they send me a bunch of pouches,
Yeah, yeah.
So I used that for the carb up, and I mixed my chicken in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just I cut the chicken into really small cubes.
Yeah.
Put it into the sweet cream of rice.
Yeah.
And I ate that in one.
I've done something similar. They actually, I think that's something that's not so uncommon because they came out with like a almost like a taco seasoned cream of rice so that you could do that, so that you could mix like
No,
cooked.
I use the strawberry banana.
No, I hear you. I've done the sweet ones too. They have like a cinnamon one that I used in prep that I would just drop chicken and green beans into it. It was I would post that I would do that and people would be like, "You are disgusting." But at the time it was killer. So that's interesting.
Still tastes good.
Yeah. Now let me ask you then, since that's like we're talking about your prep, how do you handle your post-show period? Is it something where you kind of hit it pretty aggressively? Do you keep gear in? Do you pull all your gear out?
I the last time I went to 250 tests a week,
Okay.
or this time,
Yeah.
basically always, one test a week and two growth hormone I
Yeah.
use.
Yeah. So
And
bottom barrel. Yeah.
that,
And then, but have you ever done something? And I don't even necessarily mean with drugs, just drugs. Have you ever come out of the gate and just, I mean, you're eating a ton of food to begin with, but like aggressively tried to push for kind of like a full on rebound effect? Because everybody handles
the
that time
rebound,
period
the
differently.
thing is, let's say I finish a prep with last time I finished, man, I took it real low when I was in before the Tampa show because the fat didn't
Yeah.
come. The
Yeah.
fat didn't come off,
Yeah.
and the I didn't know what to do. So
Yeah.
I went as low as 300 grams of carbs.
Okay. All right.
Still 550 grams of protein, but I went as low as 300 because it didn't it I was yeah, but that was a different story, you know what I mean? So when I got home from Texas, I immediately went back to 1,000 carbs,
Yeah.
and I stayed on 1,000 basically all the way through to
Spain.
to the last show, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I'm on 1,000. I was on 1,000. Now I'm doing between 1150 and 1,200.
Jesus Christ, dude. These numbers are out of control. That's truly too. If I hear that somebody's eating 600 grams of carbs a day, like Tommy has routinely, it's like that's a lot of food to get down as a bodybuilder. And that's you have that down by noon. Like that's unbelievable, dude.
Meal one.
So think about it. When
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, I don't have a breakfast. I just have a shake. You know,
Yeah.
the shake is 100 carbs.
Yeah.
Then my post workout is 350.
Yeah.
Then my next meal is 150. So we are at 250, 600.
Yeah.
3 meals. Then I do another shake.
You just repeat that then? Yeah.
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 Then I have 1,200. Easy.
Man. Yeah, easy. No problem. But we're coming up on an hour, man, and I know it's late for you. I know too that you talked about how you kind of struggle to wind down after these interviews. So I want to give you the chance to go eat and wind down. We really appreciate you making the time for
Do you
this,
have
man. This was awesome.
one or two more questions?
I mean, we could stay on as long as you want, man. You
Yeah,
could
let's do a
tell us.
little.
Yeah.
It's basically because if people are asking, yeah, I was training legs, like I said, those are the ice packs. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
People
So
are
how do
wondering.
you, so for example, then like you're training twice a day, you've talked about how your back is like, the big priority. What's a back or pull day setup look like for you doing it twice a day? Is it lats in the morning and upper back, or how do you break it up?
Basically, I do the Dorian Yates workout
Okay.
without the deadlifts,
Yeah.
but I do barbell rows, and then I do T-bar rows.
Okay.
So instead of deadlifts, I do T-bar,
Yeah.
and then I'm going into sometimes I switch a couple exercises. I do a one arm hammer strength pull down, not a
Yeah.
two arm or a close grip, something like
Now
that.
you have all this stuff in your own place? Oh, right
Yeah,
on.
I
Okay.
collected everything over time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And um, at night, I only do rear delts,
Okay.
traps, and biceps.
Biceps. Yeah. Right on. And then
And yeah,
is that the main priority for you right now? Back? Like, is that volume workload beyond what everything else is for you right now?
yeah, I do the most for back.
Yeah.
I think it's 6 or 7 exercises, and for chest it's only 4. For quads it's only 3. Um, like for or shoulders it's only 4.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, shoulders are such a strong point on your physique. You don't need that much.
Yeah, and so the next day would be, or basically the day prior,
Yeah.
is calves first, and then chest,
Okay.
and then at night I do delts, front
Delts
and
and
rear.
tries. So it's
Yeah,
push pull legs, and you split it basically as like a main session and then the secondary session. I got you.
only for legs I do the hamstrings first in
Right.
the
Okay.
morning, and then the quads at night,
Yeah.
because if I do quads in the morning, I don't want to go back
You're
to
smoked.
hamstrings.
Yeah. No, you're smoked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pulling from our group that I was telling you about. One of the guys asked, how has the bodybuilding culture and popularity grown or changed in Germany specifically over the last 5 to 10 years?
10 years is pretty far fetched, but recently, the since Urs, you know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
is on the map. Everyone is trying to be like him.
everybody wants to be classic. It's the same thing here in the U.S. because of
It's
Chris.
like the German Bumstead.
Yeah, he is Chris Bumstead in Germany.
Yeah,
Yeah.
On
and
a
I
way
think
smaller
The
scale,
influence.
obviously.
I think he's next too. I think he has the structure to take take the baton from Chris more so than Ramon. So that's
I think
interesting. Now, how can I ask then, like kind of on the same topic as far as German bodybuilding culture, how did those same people that had all these negative things to say about you respond after you brought this improved look to Romania and Spain? Did they flip the script and now all of a sudden they support you, or how did that go?
no,
No, they still hated me.
yeah, because I placed 8th, and
Yeah,
then most of them were. I mean, it got way less.
sure.
I didn't get any, not any. I got less private messages,
Sure.
but on the boards and on comments below Instagram posts and everything,
Yeah.
they are still being negative. For
Yeah.
example, it's like, oh man, one guy posts, man, Roman looked way better this time. I wonder where he's gonna end up. Like that was in prejudging.
Yeah.
And then it's like, ha ha, I told you he sucks. He got 8th. The
Yeah,
that's
man.
yeah. And yeah, it's just, that's, I don't know why that is in Germany. In Germany, oh
Man, you would think that they would be so proud of you to like have you represent your country like out on the main stage. Like you're traveling across the world to go represent Germany in America and all this stuff. Why don't you just move to America, man? Have you ever considered it?
yeah, I did. But
Yeah.
right now it won't work anymore because of my wife. She doesn't
Okay.
want to. Yeah, and
Yeah.
when I want to go to the US, I'm only a 6 to 8 hour flight away,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
that's not a problem. The thing is, it's not all. Not everyone is like that in Germany.
Yeah.
There's way too many people that support me. Okay,
Okay.
there's also crazy fans that want
Yeah.
to meet me and all
They
that
want to
stuff.
show up at your house. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I'm getting just as much love as I'm getting from Americans and English and India
Yeah.
and Australia, but I'm not getting any hate from
Yeah.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm getting both from here. And
Yeah.
I'm sure when you look through comments on your Instagram or your YouTube, there could be 10 nice comments like great video, thanks for the information, blah blah.
Yeah.
But there is two comments in there that are kind of insulting or disrespecting, and
Yeah.
those two make you, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
that's in your mind.
Yeah. They're personal. They feel personal and they stick with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for you
But,
on such a big, like you have such a big platform, like, you have fans from all over the world, like we talked about. Like, so you're getting it from all these different angles. So it's a lot, man.
and then you feel that the thing is, you know what? And in an interview right after I got off stage in Tampa,
Yeah.
German interview, um, they said, they said, yeah, how do you feel? And I was like, man, honestly, they set me up to say that,
Yeah.
because I wasn't gonna say it, but there was the other guy, Tim Budesheim from
Yeah.
Germany,
Yeah.
and I told him earlier he was doing the same show.
Yeah.
We were backstage, and I told him, you know what? The part I like the least about bodybuilding is show day.
Mm.
It's pretty common, I think.
He's
Tommy feels that way too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean? It's like, yeah, because I love the training and I love the dieting and how your body is changing, growing muscle and improving, and but right here we're just lying around. It's fucking boring.
Yeah.
We have the stinking tan on.
Yeah.
You have the pimples from shaving.
Yeah.
Everything's itching. You feel dirty. You
Yeah.
can't
It's
wait.
high stress. Yeah.
You
Can't wait to
drink.
fucking shower. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then as we go out, it's his cameraman. Yeah, his
Okay.
cameraman.
Okay.
He's like, tell the story you just told me about competing. It's like, I don't want to say, yeah, come on, tell the story. Yeah.
Damn, your own kind set you up, dude.
Tell the story. I was like, yeah, you know what? Okay, it's nothing bad about it. I've heard Dorian Yates say that.
Yeah,
Same thing.
a lot of us have said it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and I said, yeah, you know what? The part I hate, or the part I like the least about bodybuilding is competing. And I explained exactly that, like that, you know? And that was a big fucking mistake. They cut it like,
Yeah, you gave them a chance to spin it.
they edited like the
Yeah.
shit of it, and it looked like they made it look like I was just, coming out of the theater after the show, and I say, I hate competing. Blah, what the fuck,
Yeah. Yeah, you sound miserable. Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone over here is like, what the fuck are you doing even there?
Yeah.
Just stay the fuck at home.
Fuck.
And then they were like, you should apologize for what you said. So, first of all, I have not insulted anyone. And even if I had, I wouldn't apologize for it because I mean what I say.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
you're not apologizing. Yeah, your sponsor should fire you. It's like, what the fuck does this have to do with it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that gave him that, and the fact that I placed so bad made them really.
Yeah, they were coming after you with the pitchforks at that point.
But right now, there were only two people basically two people that stuck with me, except for my wife. One, his name is Chris. He owns the gym I train at where I used to live. And then another guy called Max.
Okay.
He's a prep coach over here.
Okay.
Pretty successful also. He preps that Enrico guy.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah. So he's pretty good at what he does. Um, he's
Now,
actually
regarding prep coaches, are you planning on working with anyone this coming year?
honestly no, not yet,
Yeah.
not
Okay.
so far. I don't know.
Okay.
I I I don't want to.
Yeah.
If someone, if someone, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously, I'm not ready.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
that's a good
Um,
assessment, though.
Hey, so let's wrap it up on this. Anytime that we've had a guest, when I remember, we try to ask them two questions to close with. So the first is, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever been given? And then the follow-up question is, what is the worst piece of advice you've ever been given?
The worst piece of advice I've ever been given, and the best piece of advice I've ever been given. That's hard.
That's what everybody says. I almost wonder if I should skip it from now on because everyone says the same thing.
It's a good question. I've been given a lot of bad advice.
Yeah.
And over the years, because I was very successful right from the start,
Yeah.
you know? And when I won the world championships as an amateur, that's when I really started getting advice from everyone,
Yeah.
without asking for it.
Yeah.
Oh, Roman, right now you should do this, and you definitely train too much, and you're eating way too clean, and you're doing way too. You're doing this wrong, and you're doing this wrong, and that is wrong. What you're doing, and this is wrong, and this is wrong. And I was 21, so I was easily influenced by all the people, although they had never been as successful as I had been at that point. You think, yeah, well, they probably know.
Yeah.
So I was on a roll with gaining muscle and winning shows. And then I started incorporating advice from other people. And my progress stopped, came to a halt, or got less, because I was starting to, first of all, doubt myself in my own ways, and switching out stuff that worked for me for stuff that other people have said would work better because I'm doing it wrong. So if I was to give advice to someone right now, is if what you're doing works, keep doing it, and don't let other people influence you in any direction if you don't 100% believe in what they're saying. I also told that to Urs. Urs, whatever Urs does is fucking working.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's got people in his ear. I know for fact.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He's got people in his ear.
I mean, he's a superstar.
You should do this. Oh, maybe you should.
You should work with this guy. Yeah.
No, you should take some synthol for your arms.
Right.
And I know that for a fact, actually. And you should do this. And maybe you should do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I told him, do not listen to anyone except your coach, because what you guys are doing works. And fuck everything. Just put the blinders on.
Yeah.
And keep going. Straight. Don't let anyone tell you have to go into the open.
Right.
Don't let anyone tell you have to shoot your arms.
Right.
Don't let anyone tell you have to whatever, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was in the same situation and I had people. I was like, oh man, maybe I should loosen up my diet. Maybe I should train less. Maybe I should try this. Maybe I should try that. And then yeah, I just got it. It just
So what about the best piece of advice
the best piece of advice.
that someone has ever given you? I know that you just gave us a piece of advice, but what's something that somebody gave you that stood out?
It has, yeah, okay. Here it is. You know, when you see successful bodybuilders, this is a bodybuilding advice, but it's also, I think it goes for life. You know, when you see people that are successful, especially in bodybuilding, they are, it's hard to say because it's not my language, you know. Look at Ronnie Coleman, okay? Look at Jay Cutler, anyone. None of them are ever rushing or stressed.
Yeah.
They're always laid back.
Yeah.
They
All
are
the
on,
best, all the best guys are that way. Everyone's Mr. Laid Back, all the best guys.
they are on time with everything,
Yeah.
but they're not rushing. They never stressing. They're always like, it is what it is
Yeah.
type of characters, you know? And Ben Pokulski told me that you can't build muscle when you're stressed.
Mm.
It doesn't work because training itself is a stress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
can't be stressed all the time and put additional stress on your body and expect it to recover and hypercompensate as a
You know, I'm as you know, I'm a close friend of Gary Turner, who's with Animal also. And he always references the fact that years ago you told him almost basically the same thing, where you said you want to be focused, but you don't want to be stressed. And he said that that has stuck with him because he's one of these guys, and I'm this way too, where we're overthinkers. We're like everything has to be perfect all the time. And he always looked up to you because you were so on the money with things. And then he said that you said that to him and it like changed his life.
That's right. I know when I even know when I said it.
Yeah.
We were walking. He was picking me up with his car because he lived nearby the place I stayed.
Yeah. Yeah.
We drove to the office, and I told him while we were walking in because it was in the morning, like 8 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and he was already stressing. He was
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
breakfast. I had this. And I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
him.
listen. You have to be on point with everything.
Yeah.
You have to be focused, but you can't stress about it. You know,
Yeah.
that's the worst thing you can do. You know,
Yeah.
be
It's great
focused,
advice.
don't stress about it. And that's a good piece of advice that I've been given.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a great way to
For reminding me, I really said that to him.
yeah. Yeah. He told me that years ago and it stuck with me too. So it trickled down. So I think that's a good way to close it, man. We've taken up more than your time, more than enough of your time. So we really appreciate it a ton, man. This was awesome. And you know, we'd always love to have you back on. You mentioned you wanted to come join the group. By all
Yeah.
means, man. By all means, I'll send you the link afterwards, and we'd love to have you in there. Everyone that is in the group already will be super excited to hear that you're going to join. So, for Tommy Stiles, for Roman Fritz, my name is Joseph PIRCHER. This was a Thinking Man's podcast. And until next time, guys, we are out.